I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. I got
It's
you.
coming over. Yeah.
So how do you feel about playing at home for the first time?
Feels good. I've heard a lot of good things. It's a great atmosphere. And I heard the dog pound comes alive, so it'll be good to see it firsthand.
Kevin was saying that he's felt your guys' urgency and you guys have felt his throughout this camp, this preseason. How have you felt? What does Kevin's urgency look like, sound like, whatever?
Yeah, everything's been urgent, about competing and being tough, but, I wasn't here to compare how it was last year, so this is all I really know. So I think we're moving at a pretty good pace and have some urgency to us.
Jason, I know Kevin talked about with your development and D tackle's development in general, like a lot of it you don't see until you're in a game situation or a game setting. So what do you feel about that? And if you play on, it sounds like everybody's going to be available on Saturday. Like, what do you think you can show heading into week one?
Yeah, I feel like I can just show my progression, since I've got here until now. It's always a progress, especially coming into this defense, new style, and just kind of picking up the technique still, but, it's getting better week by week.
What you guys at practice every day, you just see the energy in that defensive line and how you guys are always in the backfield. When you're like in the meeting rooms, you're just hanging out with Miles and the other veterans. Like, can you guys feel the potential of what you might be able to achieve up front as a group this year?
Yeah, we know we have a lot of great players, especially up front. We all work well together, and we're all, bought into the scheme. So I feel like, once we all kind of mesh and get that full chemistry, we'll kind of just be working like clockwork.
And you've been focused on showing off that power, the speed that you've been kind of honing up on in training camp. So how do you think you're going to translate that to the regular season? Like, what's the key? What have other guys maybe been telling you, and how you can continue progressing that in an actual regular season game?
Just working my, my plan. Everyone has their individual plans of, what they're going to do when they rush or, how they're going to play a block. But just bringing my plan to life and showing that in the week.
Mason, we saw, obviously he's not back yet, but we saw Mike Hall working out on the side. Have you thought about what it might look like when you guys can finally be on the field together?
Yeah, we have a bunch of great guys. I've seen some of his tape from last year. Looks like a, really twitchy, good player that fits a scheme. So just excited to, have those type of guys to be able to play alongside with.
When you talk about the technique adjustment you've made and it's getting better week by week, where have you seen the biggest growth?
Probably just like, I had to change my whole stance, and then I'd say more like get off too. I used to not really, get off the ball as fast because it was a different defense. I was more reading, so it wasn't like launching out the ball. But I'd say probably my get off and stance and stuff.
Do you just feel that, or do they time you? Like, do they have like, I guess, statistics and how fast you're getting off the ball?
I can just see it
Just
based on
see
the
it.
film. Yeah.
Did you have any relationship with Carson before you guys got here?
No.
So how has that gone with you guys just getting to know each other and both taking on big roles as rookies?
It's cool. We're both from California. He's actually my neighbor, so we spend a lot of time together. But linebacker to D tackle, it kind of translates. So, he helps me with stuff, and we're always on the field together. So, just kind of building that chemistry.
What do you think the biggest aspect of your game that's kind of improved since day one at training camp?
Probably just, like I talked about my plan, not just going in there trying to do whatever, having a plan of what I'm going to do and, why I'm doing it. That opens up other stuff for me.
Shelby Harrison's game is a lot of batted passes. We've just seen it out here in training camp. Have you watched him do that, kind of taken keys from his technique, try to put that into your own bag?
You're talking about like blocking passes? I've blocked a few passes, but Shelby's really good at doing that, getting his hands up, getting in the windows. So, I just feel like he has a natural feel for it, and that's kind of what he does.
What do you make the way Carson has sort of taken ownership of calling plays and asserting himself as a leader early on here?
You said what?
What do you make of the way Carson has, taken the responsibility of calling plays, being a leader, and so early in his career?
It's been really good. The communication's been great. It's obviously he's a rookie, so we're all still learning some stuff. But I feel like we're all communicating on a high level, and there's no miscommunication, or we're all on the same page. So I feel like he's doing a good job.
Good.
Thanks, Mason.
Thanks,
Mason.
Mason.
Thanks.